Whoa. Welcome to the TreasureTreeTherapy Planners Podcast. I'm your host, Master Cheese, also known as Brandon O. I know you guys are looking behind me. The scenery is a little different today. The reason why is because I'm behind a tree that's sprouting pears. It's been planted about 2 years now. So I'm going to pluck one or two and let y'all glimpse at what Mother Nature presents to us, fresh organic pears. And you can do the same thing from your crib. On that note, we're going to get into the podcast. Today, we're going to focus on three things. We're going to focus on a little bit, a couple injuries going through the league, Joe Burrow, Trevon Diggs, touch on those subjects. Injuries are important here. Then we're going to start talking about, prime time. Got to show him some love. Tough week for him. Then lastly, we'll end with the Chicago Bears. I'm sorry, guys. You will be in for a great one today. Stay tuned. All right, guys, welcome to the TreasureTreeTherapy Planners Podcast. We do want to start with looking at a couple injuries going on through the league. A major blow was dealt to the Cowboys with Trevon Diggs going down in practice, they said. But it's in combination with how medicine is not keeping up with today's fast-paced sports. Now, there are some sayings that he might have sprained it or hurt it before the practice or he did it in the game, but let's just look at it. Let's just look at the facts, all right? Look at his age, okay? It's not very common a high-profile athlete like that, such as himself, gets hurt in practice. That's different. Now, if you listen to this excerpt, this kind of helps paint a picture of what's going on with a lot of these athletes. And then I'm going to dive into exactly the other aspect that is not being addressed.
Here's the other factor as well. And I believe this happened with Deshaun Watson's torn ACL that he suffered non-contact in November of 2017. I think it happened with Teddy Bridgewater's non-contact ACL tear from late August of 2016. I think the injury possibly happened in the game that they just played. We don't know. And never. I know Watson said he believed it when we interviewed him at a Super Bowl injury, that you can injure it and not realize it's injured. They say all the time, there's a lot of guys walking around with partially torn ACLs. Nobody knows it. They don't even know it because they felt a little tweak, but hey, they keep going and they just keep going. But it can be that you've done the injury and impaired the ligament and maybe partially torn it, and then something that otherwise wouldn't have torn your ACL causes it to go the rest of the way. That's possible too. So we don't know that it was the intensity of the practice drill. It just could be it was the leftover final piece of something that may have happened to him during a recent game, whether week 1 or week 2, or maybe something happened in the preseason. We just don't know because a lot of times that thing is already ready to go.
Okay, now when you listen to what he's saying, he's describing like micro traumas. A well-known physical therapist by the name of Brian Onosologu, BOTAP Services, BOTAP Performance. He broke it down to me and he told me you have these micro traumas that add up down the line and that can cause that feather to hit and everything just kind of breaks and snaps. That could be what's going on with Trevon's injury. Now, with that injury occurring, we also have to take into account the neurological system. And I'm going to continue to drive this point until people recognize that everything that they see is not everything that occurs. The neurological system also is injured and it also needs to be addressed because once it feels unsafe, things go, ligaments go, tissue damage occurs. That's what's getting these things to occur. So we need to consider that. And now, as we look at Joe Burrow, hard fought Monday night game, exciting to see him out in the field, making plays, but you can tell there's a difference with him. And the Bengals are faced with a dilemma. The man has an injury week 3 in the season. and you have Super Bowl aspirations. How do you manage that with that? Do you continue to have him play until, God forbid, the Aaron Rodgers situation occurs? Do you wait until it's a grade 2? These are all these questions that the organization and the coaches have to really sit down and consider what is beneficial for a team, because Burrow has had an injury prior to. He has a history of injury going on in the knee. And from my experience, when you have injuries with the knee, the calf is what helps make up or starts to compensate to address these issues. So with Burrow, I think that they need to, in my expert opinion, they would be wise to sit him out a game or two, because this is a franchise quarterback. This is not something you deal with. This is not Rex Grossman or any other quarterbacks that's been in the league. You need to sit him down, manage the injury, but then guess what you also need to do? Manage the neurological system. And again, you can click the link down below. Square One helps describe what's going on with the nervous system. And no matter how much you try to rehab that knee, rehab that ankle, the neurological system needs to be addressed. And that's what's going on in the NFL with a lot of different injuries. The muscles are strong. These people are very intentional. They do a lot of hard work in terms of preparing their bodies, but no one's preparing the neurological system. And that's just the piece that I'm going to continue to drive until someone listens or it makes sense as these players progress, hoping to prevent injuries. Now, we're going to move forward into, y'all know the best time. It's the, hold on one second. Prime time. Yeah, I still got energy for the guy. You know, it might have been a very, 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 very. We can keep adding these varies on top. It could have been it was a very bad loss, right? Now, in managing with the very bad loss, it's only one game. It told you what you needed to know about your program. It told you what you needed to know about how to get better. As I mentioned before, listen to these words. Primetime is not a great coach, right? The man is a man that gets things done. He's a student of the game. To help paint a better picture, I'm going to have you guys check out one of his old school clips of him with Peyton Manning, and he even describes, again, a Hall of Famer athlete. He even describes something that happened to him in his career. Go ahead and listen to it.
14 offers.
Sure. Peyton, how you doing, man?
Good.
Thanks for helping us out.
Thank you. You know he beat your dad deep, son. He did? For 6.
You see, but
he beat me for 6.
You said that. I don't really say it.
He got me on the Peyton Manning. They were running it down our throats. And I said, you know what? Let me go up here and get this run before it gets started. And I saw the naked hand. We always say, when you see the naked hand, you can start the band. When you see that naked hand that Peyton gives you and he pulls it, it's over.
The mayor.
As Manning drops back play action. He's got Marvin wide open. He's got it. Touchdown! Marvin Harrison.
That was against Deion Sanders. Had a man-for-man all the way.
It's one thing, like, if you made this perfect throw out in front of him, but it wasn't. It was like
it was
he bit the fake. He bit the fake, and it was like throwing it versus air after that.
You just see him here. He just runs right by Deion. Now there is a little play fake. I think he looks in there and gets held a little, but that's no excuse.
The man is considered one of the greatest. He's even describing at a point in time when he was at the lowest, when he got caught looking at the quarterback and got beat deep over the head for a touchdown. Yes, greatness is done in failure. You cannot win if you do not learn how to lose. It's one of my biggest philosophies. You got to be honest with yourself. You got to look in the mirror, and you have to understand what you have to get better at. And when you get better at these things, good things happen. Better things happen. So he took his L, but he's still above expectation. If you all thought he was going to go to the national championship in the first year, that's a nice bet to put down in Vegas. But looking at the odds, they already stacked against him, especially being in Colorado as an African-American coach. It's a lot of targets on his head. So right now, he's still moving forward. He knows what it takes, and the preparation is all he's going to do, step by step. He has another tough matchup this weekend. We'll see how he handles it. But when he gets on that ladder, when he's up there with the big dogs, just know this is how it started. Prime time, the mastermind. Shout out to Coach Prime again. Like I said, I'm going to continue to show him love until he's no longer coaching. All right. On to the most important, final, weirdest section going on. And it's going to be a little depressing. Not an injury. It's the Chicago Bears. Yes, I got to take the glasses off of these because it's sad. It's very sad, guys. The Bears are not who we thought they were. Roll a clip.
Quarters, the Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were.
If you're a Chicago Bears fan, you know that where that clip stems from. Unfortunately, we're on the other side of it. We're not on the winning side of it. And we need to break down why the Bears are who they thought. Why the Bears are who they are right now. The first order of business needs to go to the Chicago Bears fans.
8 million, 10 million, 25 million. I don't know how much.
Yes. You all are the reason why the Bears suck. And I'm going to explain why that is. The expectation, the misunderstanding of how football goes is the reason year after year after year after year we have these issues with our team. I'm not saying we're the only reason, but we need to take responsibility. One point in time, the Bears were a 10-win team underneath Lovie Smith. We were spoiled with winning, being competitive. So spoiled that we decided to fire. Yes, fire. Everyone was excited. We need to fire a 10-6 winning coach when we are in one of the most competitive leagues, conferences in all of the NFL. We fired him. And our thoughts were to go out and get an offensive savvy guy, go make this, go do this. And now look at the results. Just look, the facts speaks for themselves. Look at the results. We need to understand that the Chicago Bears, the Chicago organization is not necessarily made for a prime, big-time quarterback. Like, that's not what the city, historically speaking, is not what the city is based off of. So we need to be realistic with ourselves. Okay? Now that we can be realistic, just look at the list of quarterbacks. We had Rex Grossman. We had Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler wasn't even drafted by the Bears. Now we have Justin Fields, and we're about to destroy his career. Again, we had Mitch Trubisky. And I tell everybody this because history tells, I've been telling everybody about Mitch. When Mitch was bad, the fans loved him. When Mitch started getting good, the fans hated him. It's because the record changed. We're using wins and losses to determine if a quarterback's good enough or not. We're not looking at the actual development. And that's what happens with Fields, and that's what happened with Mitch. And if you're not a fan of Mitch, you're not going to be a fan of Fields because he's literally in the same situation, the same predicament. Don't argue with me. Argue with the facts. So now that we understand what kind of organization, what kind of city the Chicago is, we have 4 seasons. This is a gritty season. You can go get coaches from Canada, from Florida, where it's sunny and the weather's always beautiful. Chicago is not for the weak-hearted. Winter is coming. These Chicago winters are not for the weak-hearted, okay? So we need a guy that's going to be able to handle and understand the city itself and bring the best out of guys. Traditionally speaking, we are known for our defense. So yes, Fields is an issue. We'll address that coming up. But we need to address the defense. The defense needs to be better. We need to be a better defense. We're not winning if the defense is not better. Okay? Understand history. The defense is the staple of the Chicago Bears. We can have a good quarterback. We want to be a Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is once in a lifetime talent. Stop the comparison. And I did want to bring up one point about Mitch Trubisky. And I know people finding their love for him to come back again, looking at Mitch. Mitch is one of the Bears' best quarterbacks, historically speaking. He's one of the best QBs in Bears history. And if you take back to a time where Mitch was at quarterback, he had arguably one of the biggest throws that didn't count.
Snap it, they get it back to him. Montgomery had taken the snap. Trubisky launching it right back to Wims, and he drops a touchdown.
He threw a dime that was dropped in the playoffs. If that ball's catch, history changes. So let's put some respect on Mitch's name and let's give some support to Justin Fields. Because again, if you don't like Mitch, you're going to have a hard time liking Justin Fields. Stop the comparison. Yes, Mitch got passed up, but even if Patrick Mahomes was on the Bears, he would not be Patrick Mahomes. He might be Cal Orton or Rex Grossman. And respect to those guys, they earned their credit. They did some wins, they did some losses, but we know what kind of QB we need on this team. We need to address the defense. We need to put emphasis on the defense. Okay? Now that we've got that part out the way, now we can talk about Justin Fields. Justin Fields. Looking at his resume, the man has come out of Ohio State, traditionally winning program. Not a lot of people can be successful in that program at that level. So it speaks volumes to what kind of character he has. But I have an issue now with Justin Fields. Just listen to the soundbite.
What do you think was causing you to think so much, maybe think too much?
Could be, coaching.
Y'all heard what he said.
I think. But, at the end of the day, it makes it, they're doing their job when they're giving me,
Come on now. Justin Fields, you're trained on how to deal with media. You're trained on how to deal with media. So you know what the media is going to do.
I'm not blaming anything on the coaches. I'm never going to blame anything on the coaches, never going to blame anything on my teammates. I will take whatever happens in the game, I will take all the blame. I don't care if it's a drop pass, it should have been a pass. Put it on me. But never will you hear anything come out of my mouth to where I will blame it on somebody else in this organization, my teammates. Never will you hear that. So I just want to clear that up and just know that, I need to play better.
You need to choose your words wisely. And that's not even the biggest part. The part is someone needs to give you the battery, and I'm going to take it right now. I'm going to put the battery in your back. Walk into the office and tell them exactly what is on your chest. Get it off your chest. Hold the coaching staff accountable. Don't swallow your words. You are a quarterback of the Chicago Bears. If you want to be big dog, be big dog. Talk big dog. But you also have to back it up. You need to be confident. Coach, this is not working. Okay, fix it. Coach, this is not working. Fix it. You need to feel like a franchise quarterback. You need to put the battery in your own back. You need to speak yourself up with confidence. You should not swallow your words at media time. You should not swallow your words at media day. You are Justin Fields, an Ohio State Buckeye, Chicago Bears starting quarterback. You QB1. Stop holding punches, stop holding words, and hold the coaching staff accountable. With that confidence, now, coach, these plays work. If the coaching staff wants the best out of the Bears, because we are a different city. We are not like everybody else. If you all want to get on that level, we need to make sure that Justin Fields has the plays that he's comfortable with and that he wants to run. Playbook in your hands, Justin. This is a 2-year project. You got 2 years to finish what you started. 2 years to finish what you started. Okay? Now, there are some sayings that Lovie Smith might come back to the Bears. I would love to see it. Lovie needs to be on this squad. We need to bring back the culture that got us here, the grit, the love, the compassion. I want to feel comfortable watching a Bears game. I want to feel comfortable rooting for a Bears game. We suck. And that's not just my opinion. That's just facts. Looking at the stats, we're on a 13-game losing streak. We're 0-3 right now. We suck. But like I said with PRIMETIME, the season's not over with. Little sound effect. This is the effects right here. Things are going to change now. We had some tough matchups. We're 0-3, but it's not the end of the road. There's a long NFL season. There are plenty of time to rebound. The biggest thing is that we got to take one step at a time, and we need to try to win our division. We lost to Green Bay. Cool. That's one loss. If we can build up the momentum to win the rest of our divisional games, be competitive against the rest of look at the schedule. We have the Broncos. We don't have a very tough schedule left. There's still potential to keep this season valid. All right. We got the 2 top teams at 2-1, and we have Minnesota Vikings at 0-3 as well. We're both sitting at the bottom of the pot. We have time to rebuild and get there. But the first thing we need to do is we need to address the defense. Justin Fields has to get the playbook. And the third part with all that, and this is what I've been saying since Justin Fields was a rookie, I'm going to give y'all the secrets. I'm going to give y'all the tape. I watch a lot of film. Watch this clip. Right. So now as you watch this clip, as you can see, he's not even looking at this out route on the left side of the field. You know, just compare it to basketball players. You know, you can go to a basketball gym and you can shoot 100 threes, 100 jump shots, and you can knock them all down consistently in a row. But then if a defender steps in front of you, your mechanics change. The shots you don't feel comfortable shooting those same shots. And that's the same situation with Justin Fields. Justin Fields does not have potential to be the quarterback we want him to be because his mechanics are not where they need to be. They have many flaws. So the throws that you all expected him to make, he doesn't have the reaction time. He doesn't have the speed in his throws to make them. It's taking that extra split second. And I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but a split second is a lot when you have a linebacker coming down on you. A split second is a lot when you have to check left and check right. They need to fix his mechanics. It's something I specialize in. Chicago Bears, y'all want some help? Bring me in. I've been watching Justin Fields' film since he came in as a rookie. A lot of flaws. He has improved it, but there are more flaws in his mechanics in order for him to get to that next level. 2-year project. On that note, I do want to keep these videos short. As I said, you can check out the website, TreasureTreeTherapy.com. You can also email me at TreasureTreeTherapy@gmail.com. And that is a wrap. Planting seeds today for future generations. Success.